Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into Act 4, Scene 3 of Romeo and Juliet. One of the most intense scenes in Shakespeare. This is where Juliet decides to take that potion, to
Right.
make her appear dead.
Yeah.
So we're going to unpack why it's so powerful and what it reveals about her character. Especially for those of you who are studying this play in class, maybe.
Yes, it's a real turning point. I think we see her transform in the scene from a teenager
Right.
who's pretty sheltered to a young woman willing to risk it all for love.
It's true. She's making some pretty adult choices here.
Yeah.
With some serious consequences.
Yeah.
And it all starts with Juliet kind of getting rid of her mom and the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So she can be alone for this. It seems like a small thing, but I feel like it speaks volumes. What do you think?
I think you're right. It shows she's not openly rebelling against her family, but she is starting to take control.
Okay.
And she's manipulating things to get what she wants. It's a sign of her growing independence, her resourcefulness. And, like how many times have you wanted to shut out all the voices telling you what to do
Right. All the time.
and just make your own decisions? Well, that's kind of what she's doing here, even if it's through a little trickery.
Yeah, totally. And then we get to that incredible soliloquy
Yes.
where she's pouring out all these fears about drinking the potion.
Yeah.
It's like she's talking directly to us,
It is.
sharing these dark inner thoughts.
It's one of the most famous soliloquies in all of literature for a reason. And Shakespeare's language here, it's just
Yeah.
so powerful and evocative. I mean, she's terrified. What if she's buried alive?
Right.
What if the potion doesn't work? What if she wakes up surrounded by corpses? I mean, it's a good reminder that even the bravest people
Yeah,
experience fear and doubt.
for sure. Imagine having to drink something that makes you appear dead.
I know.
The stakes are so high.
Absolutely.
There's this one line that always chills me when she talks about Tybalt's festering corpse
Oh, yeah.
and the smells of the vault. Ugh, it's so vivid.
Well, Shakespeare was a master at using those details,
Yeah.
sensory details to create atmosphere. He wants the audience to feel the claustrophobia and the dread that Juliet's experiencing,
Right.
but also those deeper fears, the fears of death, decay, the unknown. Back then, plague and disease were rampant.
Right.
This would have been very real for people.
Absolutely. And then it all comes to a head when she sees Tybalt's ghost seeking out Romeo.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is she hallucinating or is this something supernatural?
That's the question, right?
I know.
Well, remember, Elizabethans believed in ghosts.
They did.
So this scene would have been truly terrifying for them.
But
But it also works on a symbolic level, right? The ghost could represent her guilt over Tybalt's death or foreshadow the tragedy that's to come. Shakespeare deliberately leaves it open and up to us to decide. Oh, it's brilliant, that dramatic tension.
it is. It's like, is their love doomed from the start?
Right.
Or is it a series of choices that they're making? Is it fate?
Exactly. Fate versus free will. It makes you think, how much control do we really have over our lives?
For sure.
It's a question we're all grappling with.
Yeah, big time. But back to Juliet, I think another important part of the scene
Yes.
is that dagger speech,
Oh, yeah.
where she actually considers suicide if the potion doesn't work.
That's right. I mean, she'd rather die than marry Paris. It just shows how trapped she feels.
Right.
The immense pressure on women in the society to obey.
Yeah, like this is her only way out.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes that final act of drinking the potion so powerful.
Right.
Think about that image. She's all alone. She's about to drink this thing.
Right.
That'll make her appear dead. It's a huge risk, and it's all for love.
That's a gutsy move.
It is.
And I think it's something students studying this play can really connect with.
Oh, for sure.
That pressure to do what's expected of you, even if it goes against what you want.
Totally. Yeah.
Juliet's struggles are timeless.
Absolutely.
She's torn between following her heart and doing what her family wants.
Yeah. It's a conflict we still see today.
Totally. And there's so much to unpack here for classroom discussions.
Oh, tons. I mean, students could analyze the language, how Shakespeare describes her emotional state.
Okay.
What does that phrase dismal scene suggest about her feelings?
Oh, that's good.
Or how about that word act? It emphasizes that she's making a conscious choice.
It does. And the imagery too, right?
Yes, the imagery, oh my gosh. Spend a whole class just on the symbolism of the potion, the tomb, even her wedding dress.
That's a good point.
Or you could even have students perform the scene, act out her inner turmoil. Imagine that, bringing the tension to life.
It's a scene that begs to be performed.
It does.
And then there's the ethical dilemmas here too.
Oh, yeah.
Is she justified in deceiving her family?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the line between love and loyalty?
Right.
Those are good questions to debate.
They are.
And not to mention the historical context.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this scene offers a glimpse into Elizabethan beliefs about death and the supernatural and societal norms.
It just...
Imagine researching what a typical tomb looked and smelled like back then.
Oh, creepy.
I know.
But this scene is a goldmine for creative minds.
Oh,
You could rewrite it from another character's perspective.
that's fun.
What if it had a different ending?
Right.
You could even adapt it into a modern story about teenagers rebelling.
That's true.
There's so much you can do.
It's amazing how much depth there is in one scene.
I know, it's really incredible.
It speaks to the power of Shakespeare.
It does.
It really does, though, right?
Sure.
Like one scene and so much to talk about. But okay, for those listening, what are the key takeaways from Act 4, Scene 3? Like the things you really need to remember.
Okay, well, first, Juliet's bravery. I mean, she's willing to defy her family, fake her own death,
Right.
all to be with Romeo. It takes guts to do that.
Totally. It's easy to get caught up in the romance, but she's strong. Like she's taking charge of her destiny.
Absolutely. And don't forget, she's doing all this while wrestling with doubt and fear. Shakespeare doesn't shy away from showing us that, which makes her more relatable, you know?
It's true. It's
Yeah.
like you're in a tough spot. Maybe your parents don't like who you're dating.
Right.
You feel pressure to do what they expect.
Yeah.
Juliet's going through that, but like times 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. And to really drive those emotions home, Shakespeare uses all this imagery of death and darkness.
Right.
The festering corpse, the smells of the tomb. Ugh, it's all setting the stage for what's to come.
It's chilling.
Yeah.
And then there's Tybalt's ghost, which just adds to that whole question of fate.
Is it just a hallucination or something more? Is Shakespeare leaves it open? Maybe it's a reminder that things aren't always clear-cut?
Yeah.
Like the line between reality and imagination, it can get blurry when you're feeling so much.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So by the end of the scene, we're left with Juliet. She's taking this potion, lying there, seemingly lifeless. A huge leap of faith. But we have no idea what happens next.
It's a real turning point. She's made a choice, but the consequences are out of her hands now. It really shows that even the bravest actions can have outcomes we don't expect.
That's true. It's like, even when we try to do the right thing, sometimes things go wrong anyway.
Right. Makes you wonder if it could have been different. What if Juliet hadn't taken that potion?
Yeah.
Could they have avoided tragedy? Or was it fate all along? People have been debating this for centuries.
Big questions.
Yeah.
Well, if you're reading Romeo and Juliet, or even if you just like a good drama, Act 4, Scene 3.
Oh.
It's a must-read. You won't forget it.
It really shows Shakespeare's genius, creating characters like this that still resonate with us today. It's incredible.
It really is. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Romeo and Juliet. We hope you learned something new.
Yes.
And until next time, keep exploring and keep diving deep.